What I'm going to do now is make a very simple mechanism for turning rotary motion into reciprocal motion. So in effect making something that goes round and round into something that can go up and down. First one I'm going to build is probably the simplest style you can make. Is a simple gear to a ratchet, and it's gravity assisted on the way back down, so it's only being forced up in one direction. This next one I'm going to build is a little bit more complicated, but still a very simple method of using gravity to bring the bar back down. This time, instead of using a gear, however, we're just going to use a lever, so in effect turning the rotary motion into a camming motion and using that to lift the bar. Once we attach the wheel, every time it turns round, the lever will go around once as well, raising the bar inside once. What we'll do here now is the blue pin will go through and it will stop the red bar from dropping through. Unfortunately, it's slightly out of shot here, but when it comes back down you should be able to see it clearly. And now you can see with every revolution the red bar gets lifted once. And that's it from the other side. I'm going to take the lever off. I'm going to replace it with a tri-star. That will allow us to raise the lever 3 times per revolution, as you'll see now. This will unfortunately only work if it was in a vertical position, as it requires gravity to bring it back down. So what we can do now is, by adding tension into the system, in this case by adding a couple of springs, then attaching them to the bar, you'll be able to use this reciprocal motion on all axes. This next mechanism is probably one of my favourites. It's a little bit more complicated, and so you probably have to do a bit of pausing if you're going to try and build it, but the action and the motion of it is quite nice when you've got it tuned just right. For this next part, these two bars must be aligned the way they are shown in the video, because if not, the mechanism will just seize up and won't work. If you don't find that they're in line, all you have to do is move one of the cogs out and around until they marry up just as they're shown there. If they don't marry up like that, then the mechanism will not work. Look at this now. In line with that drive lever, it's central to where those cogs meet, and this is essential. The relationship of the levers on those two cogs will change in relation to where they are to the main lever, so they'll get shorter and longer as it goes round. In actual fact, they don't get shorter and longer, but in relationship to the drive lever they do. So this allows the drive lever to slowly go over one and then drop onto the other, and of course because the two cogs go opposite ways to each other, it allows for a continual motion on one side but a reversal of the cog on the outside. This next mechanism is probably the prettiest, I think, out of all of them, in the way that it transfers the rotary motion to reciprocal motion. It's quite smooth and it's actually quite nice to look at whilst being very simple. This part here, the black square, this is going to be our reciprocating motion. It's going to slide through on that channel there. And how we're going to do that is we're going to use these two wheels and we bolt them up together, and the axle won't be going through the center of the wheels. Instead, it's going to be going in one of the outside circles, and this will allow us to turn these wheels into a cam, and this camming motion is what's going to be moving the black square backwards and forwards. And this is what it looks like when it's working. As you can see, it's a fairly simple idea. The camming motion being provided by the wheel from behind, and it looks quite smooth and it's quite pretty. But I'm not going to turn that all day. I'm going to leave that for the Lego men. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you've got any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Like and subscribe the video, and see you again next time. Bye bye.